You can really taste the maple.
You do know that Riverdale was founded with maple syrup industry.
Here in Riverdale?
Dilton Doily plays with guns. Stay put, Betty.
Sardonic humor is just my way of relating to the world.
Everyone knows how much I loved my brother.
Exactly.
If we go in there with the entire Scooby Gang, forget it. We're compromised.
War is hell, Jack.
No, Archie. Hell is other people.
Out of the four of us, only you and Archie haven't kissed.
Fascinating.
I'm gonna go get a Betty. Do you want anything?
Glass of milk would be great.
Alice?
Is it true what they say about men who have just been released from prison, FP?
The Coopers are one of the most respected families in Riverdale.
Take your male gaze and your male privilege and get out of the women's locker room.
Happy birthday, dear Jughead.
Last night was
A PG-13 grope session?
Color me shocked. Archie Andrews, is that why you became a mediocre musician overnight?
I'm not interested in being anybody's rebound. Besides, I'm more into girls anyways.
And all this time I thought you were a lover, not a fighter.
both. I've got layers.
And it'll be a cold day in hell before a snake lets a pig tell him what to do.
All right, for the final time this season,
Been waiting all year for this.
the finale of Riverdale Season 3, Chapter 57, Survive the Night. All right, you've watched on CW all season. You've rushed home on Wednesday night to watch it. You've waited till the next day to watch it on the app. Season 3 has come out on Netflix. You've had time to binge it. So we should all be caught up to this point. This is where it all pays off. The Griffins, the Gargoyles, all of it.
So at this point, we did not know who the Gargoyle King was. Other than that, we were told by Barbethel that it was Jason.
And we had every reason to assume that's not.
Yeah, he dug up his grave and he wasn't there.
But he's been dead since season 1.
Yeah.
Episode 1.
That would be pushing it even for this show.
Yeah.
That would be pushing it. That's crazy.
It might jump the shark if that was true.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to preemptively say about this season 3 finale that I thought it was absurd in all the best ways.
Mm-hmm.
That they tried to tie everything together and did a really great job, and it was masterful. And then the ending is just through the roof good. This is a fantastic episode. I'm going to convince you of that, George.
I thought it was titillating, the whole thing.
I'm not going to say what I thought because my memory is so bad.
Right.
Like most of these, I come into it saying, oh, that was so dumb. And by the time we get done talking, I'm fully back on board.
Remember what you love about this show,
Right.
and then try to tell me that this wasn't one of the best episodes.
At the end
ever.
of this episode, I'm going to be back on the Riverdale train.
Trust me. Nobody gets on the Riverdale train quicker than when they hear it told through podcast.
That's our bread and butter, baby.
So,
the Dale.
We're at Thistle House. And start right off with Penelope. She's there, Antoinette. She's consoling Tony Topaz.
Yep.
There, Antoinette. Now that you've settled down with a cup of calming tea, why don't you explain this to me one more time?
Mrs. Blossom, Cheryl is in danger. She's at the farm with Betty, Kevin, and Fangs, and Edgar Evernever, and he's harvesting organs from his followers.
Oh, dear. Is that what he's doing?
Settled her down with a cup of calming tea.
That's always bad news from that lady.
Tanis, anyone? Mrs. Blossom, Cheryl's in danger. So,
where's Nana Rose when you need her?
She's coming.
Telling her about the harvesting organs. You think, oh, finally, telling an adult.
Well, isn't it fortunate I was here collecting my mail at Thistle House when you arrived? And Betty's with them, you say?
Yeah, and we need to go save them because
Well, isn't that unfortunate? Or no, isn't that fortunate I was here collecting my mail? You know,
yeah, that just seemed very like, why in the world would I be here? Just
it's like they had to explain to us why she would be there.
I would not think one thing was strange about her being there.
Right, exactly. And so of course she drugged Tony, who passes out. Good night, my dear. We're like, oh no, Penelope's bad, big surprise. We knew she's bad, but we didn't know quite how bad. Mm-hmm. So I guess like I already am like combative with Jordan right now. Like everything I'm thinking that's happening, I was like, this stuff was set up and just feel I get what you're saying. They could have retroactively fit this stuff, but if they did a great job because like setting up her and Hal
and there.
Mm-hmm. I'm saying. So FP says Ethel's off her rocker. Okay, where's Jason's body?
I refuse to accept what Ethel said. That Jason Blossom is the Gargoyle King. Even though his coffin was empty, it defies logic.
Well, say Ethel is off her rocker. Okay, but where's Jason's body?
Someone's still wearing the Gargoyle King's antler.
So it's up to you and me to figure out who, Blossom or no Blossom.
I keep thinking about that matchbook that Dr. Kurtle found in Baby T's throat. Kurtz must have got that at the Maple Club, right?
What are you getting at, boy?
Do you have a copy of Kurtz's mugshot I can borrow?
And they want, you know what really is getting to Jughead? That matchbook that Dr. Kurtle found in Baby T's throat. You don't think that right there?
That's a plot thread that's been around for a while. Right. So
Kurtz must have got that at the Maple Club, right? Well, do we have a copy of Kurtz's mugshot? So then Evelyn comes in and says dad to her husband, which
why she's still
the
calling
only other
dad?
person in there is Betty about to get her head cut open. It's like, sorry to interrupt, but you've got a visitor. It's Penelope.
Mrs. Blossom, what can I do for you?
Let's not mince words, Mr. Evernever. I am fully aware of the foul activities you're conducting here.
So she's fully aware of the foul activities he's conducting here.
The Topaz girl told me. I have no interest in exposing your shenanigans.
Then why have you come?
You have something that I want.
Miss Blossom.
You sell organs, don't you? I'm looking to buy in bulk.
She's got something that he wants. That he's got something she wants. You sell organs, don't you? Oh, yeah. She's looking to buy in bulk. So Chuck heads over to Maple Club. He looked like this, showing the girl picture of Kurtz. Well, she never worked with him directly. The Red Dahlia did. Penelope worked with that guy. And she never saw Penelope with a young man, a young redhead. Jason, he's asking. And she's like, yeah, he came around. Oh, so Jason was there.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's what she said.
The world's encroaching on the farm. They've been compromised. Chad Michael Murray is like, we got problems because now she's trying to buy organs. People know about what we're doing here.
Which they've established that the farm picks up and leaves when they've been someplace too long.
Right.
So
gotta rotate your crops.
Yeah, get out of town, Chad Michael.
So Alice is like, what about this engine? Oh, we're preparing things. Well, we gotta find Betty. Have you seen her? She escaped Tony Topaz. So we'll send without her. So, talking to the lawyer with Hermione and Veronica, they're going to have full ownership of the ship of the Pembroke and all other lodge investment properties. Veronica and her mother are now co-owners of Pop's Chocolate Shop and the Speakeasy. There's one more property she's curious about.
Is there paperwork on the Speakeasy?
I don't know.
Or it's just like a secret underground club. Are they filing taxes?
You gotta dial the right number.
Is it zoned for that? Like they've got paperwork with the city?
Now it has to be because they've had to go legit now, see, after they've busted the crime that was going on. So Archie's like, Mom, she's giving me the El Royale. I was wondering about how you guys stand romantically, she said. Mom is such a shipper. Super shipper mom. So Archibald gets a little note. Someone left his at the door. They're at Pop's. What if Jellybean had found Jugheads?
Oh man,
you sure they're not fakes? Him and those guys and Veronica all have these notes. The invitation: say not to tell anyone, and don't bring your phones. It's a trap. They know it. Then this is like, we got Betty getting an invitation in her room. She already had where she's getting her brain cut out, and now she got to please wear this to dinner. Have anybody ever seen Hannibal, Ray Liotta, where he eats his own brain? That's all. It was straight out of that. Like, he gets invited to dinner, and they're serving him his brain, and they take his top of his head off and feed him his own brain.
Since I could remember, I wanted to eat my own brain.
That's right. Now I'm on Chantix. I don't eat my own brain anymore.
Karen! How'd you flush my brain down the toilet?
So now, all of a sudden, we're at a new location. It's not Lodge. It's... What would we call a Blossom? It's a Blossom Lodge? So... we're at this fine dinner. Betty comes down from her room, which she's... Apparently Penelope bought Betty from the farm. And...
that's problematic.
She put a pretty dress on and comes down to dinner. And who's sitting there with Penelope? But Archie and Veronica and Jughead.
Guys. Elizabeth. Pretty. Good evening. Come and join us, why don't you?
Good evening. They have this long table. You know, it's great. Candles and like 47 salads.
Wait, where are they?
They're at the Blossom Hunting Lodge.
Penelope. What is this place?
This is the Blossom Hunting Lodge on the grounds of Thornhill.
How did I get here?
I abstained. Go ahead. No further questions.
Right. I dare you. They're at the Blossom Hunting Lodge. Archie's in a suit.
Weren't they homeless at one point? They like had nowhere to live. But
well,
just they forget they had a hunting lodge.
Thornhill burnt down.
Yeah, they had Thistle House.
They used to have Thistle House, yeah. Which, if you're not staying over at the, the whorehouse, you go there to get your mail. So,
Maple Club.
So Maple Club. It's a bunch of candles, roses, bread, potatoes, goblets, of course. Really, really nice, decked out. She said, I bought you from Mr. Evernever. He's about to cut you into butcher's parts.
I bought all of your organs.
And then, who's serving? Sister Woodhouse.
Mm-hmm.
She pulls out a revolver. You naughty, naughty girl.
Now, Agatha here will show you to your place.
Sister Woodhouse.
You naughty, naughty girl. Agatha was one of my mentors. She cared for me when I was an orphan at the Sisters of Quiet Mercy. Taught me everything I know about poisons.
Agatha Woodhouse was one of Penelope's mentors. Remember? Set up a couple seasons ago.
Yep.
She cared for me when I was an orphan at the Sisters of Quiet Mercy. You eating it up?
It kind of tracks.
Taught me everything I know about poisons.
The murdered nuns. You did that?
Loose ends. Such a bother, aren't they?
Loose ends?
Is that what we are? Oh gosh, no, not you. You are
all featured players. The sons and daughters of the original Midnight Club.
Chuck, what's happening?
I've almost figured it out.
Oh, have you?
And Jughead's like, but he's like, what's going on? He's like, I've almost got it figured out. And I'm like, come on, let Betty. She's the brains of the operation. She's the detective. She should get to solve every crime ultimately. But he's like, I've almost got it figured out. Let her keep talking.
The more she explains, the closer I am.
And she's like,
the more she lays out every plot line, the more I'm figuring out.
She's like, because if anybody could, it would be you, Mr. Jones.
But first,
two more guests.
I believe you know them already.
Oh, this was so awesome. 2 more guests show up, and I'm like, what could the 2 guests be? Except the Gargoyle King just walk in from the other room.
Hey guys, we've just been hanging out in the other room.
It's just like, what? All this drag out, and then they're just like living there. Yeah. And at home,
we're here for dinner too.
And when they're at home, they dress in full costume.
That's the show I want to watch. Just the 2 of them on their off days.
No masks at the dinner table.
Take them off.
I just watched this morning. I was just laying in bed laughing my head off, laughing, and not wanting to push play again because I just like I don't want to know yet. Yeah. I wanted to live in this moment. The anticipation was so great.
You can never go back to not knowing.
The best part is
sure you can.
Except you're me.
Yeah, you can. A minute ago, you didn't know it. Hal pulls his mask off twice this episode. Just like he's so thrilled to pull his mask off. I'm like, it's so Scooby-Doo.
Because he gets caught in the hook. He's like, I have to pull my mask off every time.
He's like, oh no, So, no masks at the dinner table. He pulls it off. He's like, haha, it's me, Hal. You already knew this. And she says, wait, King. Because she knows it better than us. It's just King.
Yeah.
Before you do it, Hellcaster, care to take a stab?
Wait, King, before you do, Hellcaster, care to take a stab?
Sure.
Arthur Conan Doyle famously said, I was just like, this is so good. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
In which case,
must
whoever
have
is
had
underneath that
connection
mask
to
must have had a
hell
connection to Hal
and to you,
Penelope. But it's
But
not
it's
Jason.
not Jason because he's dead.
Even though his corpse is missing.
The one corpse that hasn't been accounted for and who was last seen by the Black Hood set up the end of last season.
Yep.
What the hell?
Since when does Chick have red hair?
Right in front of our faces, whatever happened to this character, we just let it slide and never suspected this whole season. It was never mentioned. Last Chick.
Surely he was a suspect at one point.
We never mentioned him. I would feel like we'd have worked that out like Hellcaster. Come on. He pulls his hat off and
because we never assumed he was dead.
No,
with the body missing.
No, but we just
complained that they've let that story hang.
It's so Riverdale that we just let it go. We just in our heads we think there's 1,000 plot lines like that. Instead, they wrap them all in a tiny bow right here. And he's got red hair. He's the Jason going around getting tattoos and stuff.
I'm guessing since he started working with Penelope, doing her bidding. But this was after he got the gargoyle symbols tattooed on his back. That's why Ethel said the Gargoyle King was Jason. Because you called him Jason. Because you dressed him up like Jason.
Okay, so remind me who this is.
Chick.
It is Alice's.
Now don't start because there's a moment I don't want spoiled.
Okay.
Because yes, this is the guy we got from. This is
as far as we know, it's Alice's son.
Yes, that's enough. That's enough. Because there's such a good moment coming up.
Okay.
So it's why Ethel said the Gargoyle King was Jason because you called him Jason after you chased him through the woods, Dad.
You didn't murder Chick. After you chased him through the woods,
I recognized a kinship in him, and I spared him.
He begged for mercy and pledged his life to me in service of my mission.
He's like, I recognized a kinship in him.
That was so weird.
Oh, that was great. But it wasn't just your mission, was it, Mr. Cooper?
Well, maybe not at first, but
eventually you started working with someone else.
who
I
also
really
had a
thought
grudge
Archie
against
was going to be
Riverdale.
like, it's in his eyes.
Yeah.
I've seen his eyes.
She's like, my dad was having an affair with Penelope.
in the middle of all that stuff with the Black Hood last year, my dad was having an affair with Penelope.
Yes, I did cultivate your father's murderous impulses. It's true. to take my revenge on a town that allowed me to be sold as a child bride to the Blossoms. Your parents knew. I told them. And they did nothing but mock me.
And Penelope's like, my family allowed me to be sold as a child, or whatever. They allowed me to be sold as a child to the Blossoms. Riverdale's a hideous and cruel place is the whole message. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that kind of tracks.
And years later, when my Jason was murdered in cold blood, do you think one of them reached out to me? No, they were too busy ignoring the rotting, fetid truth that Riverdale is a hideous and cruel place, twisted and cursed. And the Black Hood and I, we were doing quite well. Exterminating its sinners.
Until my dad got arrested.
Yes, but that was fine because Hal's disciple came to me, lost, and I gave him purpose to continue our great work.
But not as a Black Hood. So instead, you made him dress up like the boogeyman.
The Gargoyle King.
You introduced G&G to our parents 25 years ago. And then reintroduced it this year to Chick.
So she is the one that introduced G&G in the past. Yeah, it was this season, but they did set it up this season. It's got Cheryl doing it. And then reintroduced it this year to Chick.
His name is Jason.
Who gave it to...
Wait for it.
Ben Button.
Who introduced it to Pizza Guy Ben.
Who started playing with Dilton Doily.
Who introduced it to Dilton.
Ethel Muggs.
Who introduced it to Barbethel.
And then G&G spread like a virus or poison.
And the true mastermind behind it all.
The true king is you, Penelope. He's giving her the credit because she set us up.
Well done.
And again, full Archie.
You're nuts.
Your dad sucks moment. He looks at her and says, "You're nuts." So she takes him out on the hunting preserve and says, "The task before you is simple. Make it through the woods. Survive the night, of course. You will be tested, each of you. Refuse my tests or try to escape, and my gargoyle minions will kill you. May the final quest begin." And we of course find out that you're to refer to Veronica as the Enchantress.
Mm-hmm.
So the first sign is Archie's. Well, now Cheryl's going to go in the hacky sack room and she's going to try to talk to Kevin Fangs, who are playing patty cake, apparently. They've got their hands up against each other, just pressed on, like, what is happening?
Kevin, thanks. Save those eyes for the bedroom, boys. We're getting out of this house of the devil.
Cheryl? Aren't you confined to your room for helping Tony escape?
She's like, save the eyes for the bedroom, boys. They're like, how'd you get out? She's like, betting you the score.
Edgar Evernever is harvesting organs.
Tells them about the organs and where Edgar keeps
Betty
his
told me
innards.
exactly where Edgar keeps his innards
They're
collection.
like, we're gonna have to see it. So she takes them in there, and the innards are gone.
Are you still seeing organs, Cheryl?
Edgar must have moved them, or Evelyn did.
Cheryl, we are getting ready to ascend, and you should too.
What if I get my hands on irrefutable proof that Edgar Evernever is a modern-day Dr. Frankenstein?
You know what? Sure.
Then proof, Kevin, is what you shall have.
Yeah, but for an illicit criminal organization, they let Betty just walk around free, knowing she was there to dig up dirt.
Yeah.
They've captured Cheryl and just let her kind of meander around.
They're like, you can't really hurt us too much. What are we gonna do? We'll just
they're
move.
too cocky, so that's their death.
Kev's like, Cheryl, we're trying to ascend. Can you just leave us alone? She's like, I'll go get proof.
Who's there?
Same thing Betty always has to do.
Reveal thyself.
She goes in there, reveal yourself, reveal thyself,
I'm in
and
no
she
mood.
screams
I said, who
bloody murder.
are...
We go back to the woods. Paladin, paladin, your turn. quest is for you. Paladin must conquer the grizzled beast.
My favorite moment, maybe ever, of Riverdale.
He must battle in the pit.
We have built up to this moment right here.
This season was worth it.
I'm saying. He has to battle alone in the pit to save his home.
The Red Paladin must conquer the grizzled beast. He must battle alone in the pit to save his home.
What is a grizzled beast?
Oh, crap. Not again.
And Archie just says, "Oh crap."
Oh crap.
Not again.
Not again.
And out comes...
What a beautiful moment of recognition that
it happened.
I've fought a bear before. As unlikely as that is.
Archie, don't do this. That guy is 8 feet tall and jacked.
It's just a fight. I've been fighting all year. Don't forget, I survived a real bear attack, remember? If I don't make it, tell my mom and dad I love them. And you guys.
I gotta do it again.
Right. Yeah.
But he's just resigned to it. He's like, not again. Another bear.
Oh crap. Out comes some guy in a bear skin and a bear skull.
Man.
Bear skull. Big guy. He's 8 feet tall and jacked.
Yep.
Then there's like a wasteland of fire and mud.
I say, as much as you put into running your RPG games,
yeah,
it's like, Penelope's out there like lighting tiki torches and like, oh, we need some more ambiance. Put
She's
some
pretty
skulls
good.
down by the tree trunk.
She's pretty good.
Yeah.
So he starts
light a few candles.
He's lit some button in his vest. He's like, "Hey, don't forget, I survived a real bear attack. Tell my mom and dad I love them."
You don't ever need to remind us of that, Archie.
He comes out, big fight. He wins, right? So, back at the farm, Alice can't get in touch with Betty. She never cared about her before this episode. Well, we're in a meeting, Cheryl, and she's like, "Why would you do such a thing to my own brother?" We're like, "What exactly?" Except I wasn't, because Cliff had already sent me a picture.
I was really excited. I could not help it.
It's all right. So it's the Enchantress's turn. It's like the Princess Bride game or something. There's a Russian roulette of chalices and blue liquid. The fate and fortune, each filled with gargoyle blood. Yeah, what's it say? Before you are 6 chalices, each filled with gargoyle blood. The enchantress must choose her closest companion. They'll each take turns spinning the bottle. They're going to play spin the bottle, which is genius, and drink from the chosen chalice. But beware, for one of the chalices contains a lethal rapid-acting venom. And I'm like, I didn't understand it. I thought that if you got to the last one and you weren't dead, you won.
Yeah, I don't. There's no way to win the game.
One person wins.
Yeah.
Whoever drinks the last one, or whoever drinks the poison one, is the loser.
But there's only 4 of them in the game, so you can't win. Somebody's going to die by the end of the night.
Yeah. Anyway, refusal to participate, immediate execution of everyone. So they got to play, and they show a little flashback to them from.
Right.
The first episode of the series.
This is like a new thing for Riverdale. Flashback to something that happened in the past.
More innocent days.
Yeah.
So they spin the bottle, which is what is great about this is every time they spin it and they remove a goblet, it always still lands on a goblet, which would never happen.
How do you feel? I think I'm fine.
$50-50 odds. They get down to the last 2.
50-50 odds.
Veronica says, out comes Penelope. They completed the challenge. Of course, it was a character challenge. And he's like, none of them were poisoned. Jughead
Veronica
says.
wouldn't let Betty drink what they thought
drank
was
them
the
both,
poison.
yeah.
Right.
So Veronica just chugged them all.
Yeah.
Which I thought, that was
good. That could have been a challenge, but no, they're all poisoned.
No.
Veronica!
did you do that?
Because I love you, V. You're my best friend, and
I love you too, V.
Remarkable, Enchantress. You've completed your challenge.
Like, that's even better. That's good DMing right there. The only way...
I'm starting to think she doesn't want him to win the game.
Yeah. I like how she just appears there like, hey, I poisoned you.
Oh, I poisoned the bear, too. Archie's
The bear's been poisoned. It's gotten into one of your open wounds. The only way to obtain the antidote is to finish the game. Classic. Okay,
like, you already had... Whatever. You had them at your whim, but it's like, no, you really got to compete now.
So Veronica and Archie have a little meeting, and this is a callback. Archie's going to be the one that says he loves her and he means it and all this stuff, and you know, I never stopped loving you. She's like, hey, nothing happened with Reggie that night.
This was the most important thing to deal with at the moment, I'm sure.
Right. Because they thought they're going to die. Yeah. Man, come on. Now we're down the tunnels. Don't worry about that loose thread with the brick wall. It's been removed. You can get out. There's a tunnel. So Edgar reopened it when he bought the compound. Alice has to stay for Polly, though. I don't know why we've left her there, but she's going to ascend, I guess. Tony, finally the Tannis root wears off. She wakes up.
Wake up, child.
Nana? What the hell is going on?
There's no time, Antoinette.
Nana?
Oh, here we go.
The hunt is afoot.
The way we said Luis from Ant-Man describes things, I want every episode of Riverdale, I want Nana to explain the plot of every episode.
The hunt is afoot.
What? What hunt?
At the Thornhill Nature Preserve, and your school chums are the prey.
Your school chums are the prey. She's got that one good eye.
Yeah.
You must save them.
Look, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but first, I need to save Cheryl.
Hellcaster time.
You're up, Chuck. The Battle of Kings. Only one shall lead the kingdom of Eldervale.
I was surprised they gave Jug the physical challenge.
Yeah, what's that? The
I
guy's
figured it would be a puzzle or something mental. It was like, no, Jug's gotta.
Yeah.
He's gotta get out there.
Only one shall leave. He has to go out there and fight the Gargoyle King. It was Chick.
Yep.
Who doesn't want to be king, he says. Who doesn't want blood sacrifices made in their name?
Right.
And Jug is like, wow, okay. That's really weird. So he's getting choked, but he ends up hitting him with something, and he wins. Then
the whole thing was weird. I mean, it was like a video game boss, the big boss moment, but this tiny little guy, he's got his shirt off, and I'm like, what is...
Yeah, not the most imposing physical threat.
But the poison's starting to work on the girls, so they gotta get out of there. And it's like Jason Blossom Death begat the Black Hood, who begat the Gargoyle King. But the Gargoyle King existed before Jason was killed. What?
Whoa.
Then it's a case of a serpent eating its own tail. Tony! Here comes Cheryl carrying Juniper.
Tony! Baby?
Baby? Poison's getting ready to take off. And Nana takes Juniper.
We were just coming to save you from the farm. How'd you get out?
An angel in disguise.
Where's Betty?
She's being hunted at Thornhill with all the others.
What are you talking about, Nana?
Her foggy eye. And she's being hunted at Thornhill. Your mother's been preparing this for weeks.
Weeks?
Yeah.
That seems like a short amount of time.
Or month, she says, and goes on, I think, even longer. And
Your mother has been preparing for this for weeks, if not months. It's the grand hunt.
We have to go there. We have to save them. Poisons!
Serpents, let's ride!
Poison serpents, let's ride. So now it is Betty's turn.
Looks like it's my turn.
Hey. I love you.
I love you too.
And she gets, I think it says 1 bullet. She's got her revolver. Out comes the Black Hood. And he pulls his mask off.
In case you forgot.
Good. You know how this has to end. Can't deny your destiny. Gonna shoot.
This has to end.
Don't make me do this, Dad.
You have to kill me, Betty. That's your heart. That's your truth. You can't deny your destiny.
Don't make me do this, please.
Either kill me and get the antidote, or I will kill you and your friends. You have till the count of 3. You either shoot me or I'll shoot you.
He pulls out a gun and points it at her. If you don't shoot me, I'll shoot you. Either kill me and get the antidote, or I'll kill you and all your friends. So she shoots him. She's like, I never want to be like you. But she doesn't give him like a killing blow. She's like,
he's still alive.
I'm not like you.
She really is like the Black Hood. She can't shoot straight.
Mm-hmm.
Penelope comes out. Good God, Hal.
Yeah, that disdain in her voice was great.
She's like, you were a terrible serial killer.
I will never be like you, Dad. Enough! Good God, Hal. You can't be trusted to do anything. You were a terrible serial killer then, and you still are today. Useless.
Yes, I love that dressing down.
Yeah, like she blows him away. Hal is dead.
Wow.
Just a headshot.
Yeah. Because he's like, I'll do anything for you. I'll stand here and get shot by my own daughter. And she's like, oh, Hal, you idiot.
So awful. So she executes.
Hal, you're the Archie of our age range.
Exactly, yeah.
Just the worst.
Quit showing up taking your shirt off or hood or whatever. And Betty breaks down.
And what do you think you're doing?
Claiming our prize. We won, didn't we? We survived the night. We proved that we're better than this town.
That may or may not be true. But kill them. Kill them all!
But, Archie!
Morning now. The poisons and serpents are all set up, and you know, the Red Hood's out there with her bow and arrow. Take cover!
I'm so glad she had time to get her hunting cloak.
Yes.
Oh yes, I was like, I was kind of crossing my fingers, really hoping she'd show up in the hunting cloak, and then like I made a comment there to my wife and kids, and they all just kind of looked at me like, "What?" And I'm like, "You didn't watch Riverdale? Come on."
Do you even Riverdale?
Yeah, exactly. So, they take the antidote. And Betty asks Cheryl where her mom is.
Cheryl? Why aren't you at the farm? Where's my mom?
She sprung me from that Jonestown like nightmare and told me to find you. Edgar was planning to ascend tonight.
Oh my God, we have to save her.
Climb aboard, cousin. Get in.
Just like back at the farm. So all of a sudden they're back at the farm. Everybody has disappeared. Their clothes are just laying there. Kev's the only one there.
Kevin.
He really wanted to go. He really wanted to go.
They left me.
They said somebody had to stay behind and tell them what happened.
I wanted to go, but they said that someone had to stay behind to explain what happened.
What did happen?
The worthy ascended, of course.
Of course.
Who did? Where's my mom and Polly?
Gone. Everyone is. And we'll never see them again.
Kevin is super bummed.
Mm-hmm. He is.
He's still a true believer here.
So, Chick was in jail. You see everybody painting pops, fixing the place up. Only Penelope Blossom managed to slip away. Riverdale belonged to us again. And then we see the hideous bloated body of Jason. It was somehow not decayed.
Time moves weird in Riverdale.
Yeah. And Cheryl's just happily sitting with him.
Where does that take place? Is that at the farm?
Yeah. She might have brought his body back to Thistle House for all we know. Lodge. FBI busts in. Hermione's under arrest for conspiracy to commit her own husband's murder. Call Sourberry. Get him. I was like, what the hell is this? And then we get diabolical shirtless Ram at the prison lifting weights.
Out in the yard.
The guard says, yeah, we planted the evidence. Oh, Veronica, you don't even know what's coming, Mihai, he says.
Again, hoping that we're done with Hiram.
Nope.
We're never ever done with Hiram.
No. And back at the El Royale, thinking of making some changes, Mad Dog. We'll make us.
I love that Archie has Mad Dog.
Yeah.
To bounce these ideas
somebody
off
to talk to. I preferred when he just talked to a mop.
Yeah.
But it's like, we're going to make this into a halfway house, community center. Might actually have a shot at turning this town around, so we don't have people wanting to teach us a lesson.
I'm embarrassed to admit this, Mad Dog, but I've never actually learned your actual first name.
And then this is my favorite scene. Oh my God. A knock at the door. Mr. Jones? I'm Agent Smith with the FBI. So he's sitting there with Betty in the old Cooper house, pool table in the background, sitting there opposite Betty, and Jughead says, no, it's about your mother. We almost had him 2 towns ago. Someone tasked with getting close to Edgar. Her, you mean your mother. You know about the organ harvesting? Which is why my team and I are going to be setting up shop here in Riverdale till we can safely locate and extract her. And, Jughead's like, so you knew all this, you didn't do anything, And, we hear you two are quite the detectives around these parts. And Betty says, I'm sorry. This is going to seem weird. She says, but do I know you?
It's no coincidence that your mother and I found each other. You see, I'm Charles, your brother.
And he says, it's no coincidence that your mother and I found each other. And I knew right then who it was. But I had forgot a detail that was so great. He's like, I'm Charles, your brother. And then my favorite screenshot.
Wait. If you're Charles, you and I are also brothers, Jughead. That's right.
You and I are also brothers, Jughead.
So great.
Oh my God. And the very next thing, they're sitting at the diner, and Jughead says, or one of them says, no, I think it was Veronica. She says,
Actually, that kind of tracks.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so...
Wait, the next best line is right here.
But in the meantime, Smithers is my legal guardian.
In the meantime, Smithers is my legal guardian.
Yeah. Finally. Smithers has returned.
It all comes back around. So, Charles Smith, FBI agent.
Yes.
Is the fabled lost...
Yes. That came to the door.
Cooper child.
The love child of FP and Alice.
Yes.
So I wrote down that Betty and Jughead get their own mop, Charles Smith, because no one else in the room meets him.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, much like Archie's see, if you're, again, newer to the podcast, we thought maybe Archie was imagining his FBI informant, and he was actually just talking to a mop in a garage.
Right. So new mop.
We've got
who dis?
We got Charlie Mop now.
So Charlie Phallus Mop. So.
But yeah, I'm definitely going to need, like we mentioned last episode, at the beginning, when Jughead says it defies logic, and now at the end, actually that kind of tracks. Much like you pop in the Dale drop, we're going to need those two for when something doesn't make sense and when something does for any future Riverdale.
Yeah, Season 4.
Yeah, we're going to need some, actually that kind of tracks.
Yeah. The core four here at Pops decide they're going to make the most of their senior year. We're just now getting to their senior year. They're vowed to
that is faster than we got to their junior year.
They vow to be done with death cults and murder mysteries and gremlins. It's a Gargoyles Arch. Sounds a little dull, but sure. And then amazing! Spring break, senior year, flash forward. They're standing. Veronica, Betty, and Archie are standing around a bonfire
out in the woods
in their underwear at night, covered in blood. We have to burn all our clothes, including Jughead's beanie. We'll wash off the blood in the swimming hole, never speak of this ever, and go our separate ways. It's the only way, basically. They throw the beanie in the fire, and then back to this moment, they're sitting in the chocolate shop, friends forever, clinking phosphates, and I was just like, perfect ending. That was so good.
And this is why that last scene led me to believe that they had planned this crap from way back. Like, we're going to do it again.
I mean, I'm sure they were planning this as they were doing the second season. They were like, we're going for it next season. And I think the only problem that this season had, honestly, is too long. Yeah. I think they had a good story. They just had to drag it out too many episodes. Mm-hmm. You know, I like what they did, but they had to put in so much filler. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was one great. Well, I don't say there was one great shot because I mean Bear Man, but there's
every expression Betty ever makes.
Yeah, there's a
Wouldn't
shot.
Wouldn't it be amazing if they pan over and there's a bear in its underwear? It's like, I gotta know how this happened.
Oh yeah,
there's a bear with like heart boxers on.
No, there was a when they're running from, you know, on their quest or whatever, and the four of them, and there's a point where they all kind of hug at together before their, you know, impending doom. There, it was all over social media, the whole core four and all this stuff. But I was like,
yeah, I think that was one of the criticisms of this year, that they weren't together as a group nearly as much. So that is a good bait and switch ending of like, look, guys, we're all going to be together. And then what the heck is going to happen?
That's why I thought it was so perfect, because I thought that when they were sitting there, let's be kids or whatever. I was like, oh, they've heard the criticism and they are going to go back, do some prom stuff.
We are doubling down.
Never. I know. I was just like, yes, you get me, Riverdale.
Yeah, it's all or nothing from here on out.
Yeah, if there had been, you need like a dragon screech or like something just a little more ridiculous. Earthquakes happening or... I guess zombies coming.
What I like is where before we've always just been like, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. Whoever the person is, they're trying to figure out. It never matters. It's Riverdale. They actually pulled it off. It did matter. Things tracked enough. You know, they did plant enough things, or at least go back and reach and make them fit.
Yeah, I'm back on board, except for one detail. The whole Alice thing.
Yeah.
You can't convince me that she was a double agent trying to infiltrate the farm from the beginning. That makes no sense, her actions through this whole season.
Yeah.
And that, I did not understand that. Even like halfway through, she helps him escape. I'm like, why on earth is she helping him escape? And then when they explained it, it made less sense. That she's actually helping us. Like, what are you talking about? But yeah, this was a good episode of, like I said, as much as the pieces don't really matter how they tie together. That it was good to go back and, well, this is why this happened, even if it's just a brief mention for crazy fans like us who try to track all this stuff. At least they're putting the effort in. So is it a whole summer of theories and?
Oh man,
we're gonna hashtag burn the beanie. We gotta get the mystery cooking. We can talk about it all summer long.
Oh boy. It's just like, what could possibly happen that the beanie is not with the body?
That's what we said before. The beanie it's more than just a beanie. It signifies, when he takes the beanie off, it signifies some. It's like when the Watcher shows up in Marvel Comics. It's
so many levels.
It's a big deal. So when the beanie's gone, that opens the future up to anything happening.
So
I loved it.
It'll be back in the fall.
Can't wait.
Did we ever explain what the ascending meant?
Well, they used to kill themselves.
Yeah.
But they're all gone. Did they quote unquote ascend? The people who left Kevin behind?
We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't.
They weren't mentioned.
We don't know.
Was it really an explanation?
It doesn't make sense.
Evelyn and
I don't know. I mean, it makes it look like they left their clothes, like they disappeared right out of their clothes. And
they got on the comet and rode to the next galaxy.
Exactly. Whatever. They weren't anything. They were organ harvesters. So it seemed like there really was a spiritual thing here. So I think they just made Kevin.
But I'm saying, did they ever explain what they thought it was?
What they were
what did Dilton Doily think he was doing when he killed himself?
I'm sure it was like a go to heaven type thing, They probably just told Kevin, "Close your eyes, Kev." And they all got undressed and walked out. Tell everybody what happened. He's like, man, they're gone. Wanted to go. All they do is take his clothes off.
Yeah, I think Kevin needs some better storylines next year, especially if Josie is missing.
Right.
We have one kidney Kev.
She don't be on
staggered around holding a pile of laundry.
You can either watch Kidney Kev or Katie Keene.
All right, well, I don't know if that was a whimper or a bang, but Riverdale's over.
Bang. It was great.
Banging.
So,
all right, 22 episodes later, Riverdale Chapter 3 is in the books.
Was that it? Was that really? That was all the episodes?
22.
Felt like,
oh my gosh.
I don't remember a time when we didn't talk about Riverdale.
So
that's like 7,000 screenshots.
Your phone's going to have a lot more memory in it for the next few months. We've got a lot of hours to fill for episodes.
Yeah,
so
we got to get creative.
Do you have an idea for how we can fill an hour of podcast time without Riverdale obsession?
Because we don't.
Let us know. Talk to us on Facebook. Tweet us at the Ka-Pow Podcast. We want to hear, do you have a theory?
Yep. Send us an email. Tweet at us. You can even write it as your review on iTunes. 5 stars.
That would be cool if you mention, like, hey, my favorite Riverdale-centric podcast. 5 stars.
Yeah.
We're not asking you to suggest one.
No.
We're
Please
saying,
don't.
This is it. All right.
I don't even know what to do now.
Yeah.
The Riverdale is on a rearview mirror. We're going to probably do some fun stuff. We're going to try to do some more countdowns.
Some stuff we haven't done for a while.
We might do like a trivia episode. Yeah. We might actually have time to talk about all the TV and movies we watch.
Cool.
So, with no further ado, my name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Goodbye forever, Riverdale.
Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com.
Because if you just save it, it'll save it as a Audacity project, and you can't replay it unless you're playing it through Audacity.
Should be easy enough. I only have to do 140 clips.
Yeah.
You got all the chords that you needed? You figured all that out?
Yeah, we got them. We got
Okay.
2 chords.
Yep.
We don't know if they work. We've never had 2 chords and tried it. But
Why would we want to
wait and
test
see
that out?
after I've made 140 of them.
Yeah.
Then
Then we'll worry about that stuff.
That's our confidence. That's our level of confidence.
That's how we roll.
So
New mop.
We've got
Who dis?
Actually, that kind of tracks.